Okay, this is how to do all 10 questions from test 1. I'd say about 3/4 of you did pretty well, especially on the first 8. But there was definitely 8 or 10 people who I could tell had done nothing with the first couple weeks of the assignment and had no idea how to do any of the problems. So I'd like to do all 10 of them here real quick to give you an idea what to do, and then we'll retake the test probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, first of all, I'd say 90% of the problems can be done using y equals mx plus b. Some of you, I don't think, are aware that the m is the slope and the b is the y-intercept. M is the slope. It's the one being multiplied by x. B is the y-intercept, or where the graph crosses the y-axis. Okay? Well, all you need is slope and y-intercept. Well, in problem 1, slope was given, y-intercept was given, so all you have to do is plug it in, put a -4 where m goes. You need the x. Without a y and an x, we don't even have a line. You have to have 2 variables. And then the y-intercept is 5, so you just put it there. Number 2, the slope is given, the y-intercept is given. All you have to do is plug it in, and that's it. Put the slope in for m, put the y-intercept in for b. Y equals -9x, -9/5 x plus 4. Number 2, it's a line, but I still need slope. I still need the y-intercept. Slope. Find 2 good points that cross perfectly, and it would be those 3 right there. I have to find the slope by doing rise over run, which is -2/5, up to left 5. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, and it crosses y at -2 right there. Okay. So now I just plug it in. I put the slope in for m. I put the y-intercept in for b. Number 4, right there, right there. So my slope is 1/3. My y-intercept, it crosses the y-axis at 3. So my answer is 1/3 x plus 3. Right. 5 through 8. Slope is given. Y-intercept looks like isn't given, but it is. If you were to graph 0, 2, it would be right there, making it the y-intercept. So in these problems, you did not need the point slope formula. Now, several of you used the point slope formula, and it does work if you do it right. However, that is the y-intercept. Anytime it's 0, something, it is the y-intercept. Therefore, -6 is the slope, +2 is the y-intercept. Slope, y-intercept. That's only when it's 0 something though. If I graph this, 0, -3 would be on the y-axis at -3, making the answer 1/2 x minus 3. Y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Slope of 1, y-intercept of -4. So it's 1x minus 4, or just y equals x minus 4. There's the slope. There's the y-intercept. So it's -3x plus 5. The first 8 questions were that easy. Slope, y-intercept. Find the slope. There's the y-intercept. Find the slope. There's the y-intercept. There's 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 the slope. There's the y-intercept. Now the last two are the harder types. The slope is given, but that is not the y-intercept. If you were to graph that, -2, -4 is not on the y-axis, so it's not the y-intercept. You know a point and you know a slope, so that's when you want to use the point slope formula. Okay, let me write it down. Here's the three things you plug in for. This is x, this is y, this is m. X, y, m. The y stays, the minus stays. I plug in a -4. Slope is +4. That x stays, that minus stays, and I plug in a -2. So I substitute -4 for y, +4 for m, -2 for x. Because it's a double negative, I switch it to +4. Because it's a double negative, I switch it to +2. Now, from here, you do the same thing almost every time. Use the distributive property. Get 4x plus 8 on the right. And then now isolate the y by subtracting 4. And you get y equals 4x plus 4. This one's same thing, but a little tougher because we have a fraction we're going to deal with. That is not the y-intercept, so that's when I need to use the point slope formula. If you don't know the y-intercept, that's when you have to use the point slope formula. Okay, I'm going to write it down again. X, Y, M. X, Y, M. Y minus 3. Y is 3. Slope is 4/5. X minus 5. The y stays, the minus stays. I plug in 3. I plug in slope. X stays, minus stays. I plug in 5. Okay, this time when I distribute, 4/5 times x is 4/5 x. 4/5 times -5 is -20 over 5. That's a -20 over 5, which is -4. That's what most people missed, was that right there. 4/5 times -5 is -4. And now I isolate the y by adding 3. -1 is the y-intercept. Okay. Again, 1 through 8, super easy, because you either know the slope and the y-intercept, or you can easily find the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. Anytime there's a 0 something, that is the y-intercept. Okay. All right. Like again, we'll do a retake either Tuesday or Wednesday.